Market update here on the 19th. So this move right here hit exactly the target I was talking about in the video yesterday or on Thursday, 354.50. So this could be the end of an ABC move, but I'm leaning towards it being a bear flag right here in a fourth wave and potentially another move down here to 350. But really, it just comes down to Monday. Or if we get a bounce here even higher and somehow break into 364, then I would consider the move finished, and that being the bottom. But overall, I think it's more than likely that we come down here to like 350, just looking at the chart. And the bad thing about that, I guess, if you're bullish, is that means this is either a first wave or an A wave. Going back to videos I put out probably a month or two ago, I talked about this is a small, very shallow second wave. This one I expect to be a more deep fourth wave. So we're already at the 0.23 fib, a little bit past it. If we bounce and come all the way down here to 344, potentially even gap fill here at 332, I would still consider that a fourth wave. Looking at the charts lately, I'm starting to think that this is actually A, B, and then we have 1, 2, 3. We're making a fourth wave, and there's going to be another move higher. That's going to be the C wave. And we look at this chart, even if it goes past the top of here, I think this is probably going to end up being a B wave. This is just my thoughts by looking at other charts. If that happens, then we are looking at a massive move down after that. So like the maximum it could go is 450. So yeah, there's still a lot of upside potentially, but I think just looking out here and zooming out on this chart that we are still in a fourth wave. Going back to the start was at 2002. This is a pretty shallow, pretty quick second wave. So again, going back to what I said about when there's one that's shallow, the other one is usually deep. So right here, I think we're gonna get a deep fourth wave. We had a shallow second wave. This one was a deep second wave, so we could get a shallow fourth wave. This third wave went all the way up here, and we're not even to the 0.23 fib right here. So you got to be very careful here. I think that this is a B wave. I was thinking for a little bit, there's a chance it's a fifth wave, but I think that there's a very good chance that this is a B wave, and we're going to see a C wave down here. Probably looking at something, if this fourth wave lasts till like October, we'd probably be looking at something in the spring finishing out this fifth wave. And then that could be the third wave, but I'm guessing it's probably the C wave. And then we would be looking at, let's see, November 21 to spring of 2024. That's about, say, 2.5 years or so. Probably looking at like a year or a year and a quarter of a C wave down. So maybe going into, maybe after the election, maybe going into the election, we start the C wave down or something. But I think that we haven't even come outside the parallel line here, and that's going to be kind of the marker that I'm using for the fourth wave to be finished, and we did not get there yet. So we'll see what happens on Monday. Going back to the shorter time frames, this can either be finished here, or what I think is probably going to happen is we're going to see down here to 350, and then we're going to bounce. Could Could even bounce all the way up here to 380. Probably be a pretty big bounce, maybe more likely 370. And then we would see a 5-wave move down. Probably down here 332. Excuse me, talking too much. So that is QQQ. Either two solutions here. We got 354.50 bottom, or we got one more move down to 350. Tesla. So Tesla did not hit the target yet either. I was looking for the 1.61 fib here at 210, or on the regular chart it's at 205. And so you can see on Monday it actually lines with this parallel liner here. 205 or 210 is kind of my target. It didn't hit it. It bounced into the end of the day. Don't be surprised if that comes down to 205 to 210 to make the bottom. And I think that if Tesla is going to follow what QQQ is going to do, then we're looking at this most likely as now A. B is probably going to be lower. It's probably going to end up being something like this. So this is going to end up being A, bounce, lower. That's what I'm thinking. So if it goes to 205, we have gap fills at like 240, so maybe we go to 240. And then the top was around 283. So this could be going, I don't know, like down to like the 160, 170s, 180s now. That would be the overall B wave, and then I would expect after that a move up here to like 350, 360. My original target was 340. We can also use depending on where this goes. Let's say it goes to 205. Let's see the 1.61 fib of 205. This is the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is 157, which would be kind of crazy. I don't know about that. It's pretty bearish right there. But if that happened, you'd still be looking at 335 afterwards. And it would look like this. And then Tesla, that would mean Tesla is probably going to come down here one more time for a C wave down here before it goes up again. So we might be a little bit early to think that a fifth wave is coming. It's still possible that this is a fourth wave and we get a fifth wave higher, but I think that this is more likely, to be honest. So bounce to 240, could bounce all the way up here to the very top as well. So 290 is possible too. We don't know how high the bounce is going to be on a B wave. And I guess technically this could be the end of the B wave too. If QQQ bottoms here at 354.50 and just goes to new highs, then that means we're finishing out this likely C wave faster, and that might actually be a third wave. So a lot of unanswered questions, but this is probably the most likely scenario before going to new highs. Either way, though, we're going to see over 300 in the next 6 months, in my opinion. So I can zoom out real quick on Tesla too, on longer time frames, and show you what I see on the chart. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And you might be asking, why is this not the end? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you can see there's only red bar here and red bars there. So third wave here, and then we came outside the parallel line already. So I do go back and forth on this. The fifth wave could be finished, or we're just going to get an ultra bearish C wave back down here. We've already hit the 0.38 fib. So you would think it's finished already. and we were going to get a 5-wave move higher, but we will see on that. I don't know. If this is the end of the 4th wave and we get an ending diagonal, this can go all the way up to $440 for a 5th wave. So it really depends on the Fed, I guess. Whatever they want to do, how soon they want to do it. If they pause or start cutting again, we could see a blow off top or something like that. That's what people are talking about. So we'll see what happens. But 4th wave almost finished on QQQ, or we get this. Tesla on smaller time frames, either going to get what we're doing now, bounce and go lower and then go higher, or we're going to see this immediately. Because again, we've already broken outside the 4th wave line. If you were to draw, let's see if we actually did. We did not break outside of it yet, actually. We broke the mid plane. There's a few different possibilities, but again, on the smaller time frames, just look for 205. I'm going off on tangents here, looking at the longer time frames and going over speculation. Right now, just look for 205 to 210, and then a bounce. And then I would be targeting, for the bounce, I'd be targeting all these gap fills. So, first of all, we have a gap fill here at 219. Have not filled that one. Then there's a gap fill at 242 or 245 and 248. Let me go down on lower time frames. So 244. I don't see one here actually. There's one right here as well. 242 and 244. Looks like. So those would be my bounce targets on Tesla. Apple. So Apple, same thing. I think this probably is going to have another move down. You can kind of see we're looking at a 4th wave here. Invalidation would be above 176.53. If it doesn't do that, it's going to come down here and probably hit 170. If they want to make it really bearish, there's a 166 gap fill right here. So Apple is showing the same thing as the most likely scenario for QQQ. One more move down to 350. Apple would probably hit maybe just below it. Maybe it only hits 170, but it could go to 166. Microsoft, same thing, except for it got a pretty big bounce. Pretty big 4th wave here. If it is, has not crossed into the 1st wave, can still come down here. And actually, all of these are kind of doing the same thing. They all have the same pattern here. So if I'm going to do a ABC move, 303 or 304 or 302 is the target. So again, Tesla 205, Microsoft 302, 303, 304. That would be the expanded flat target in the absolute bottom. Apple is different because it's just 5 waves. Unless, yeah, it can't be an expanded flat. So Apple is different. It's an A wave. So that makes me think we're going to get this on QQQ. NVDA. This one is one that really makes me think that QQQ is going to come down and make new lows after we hit a 5th wave right here. And I'll show you why. Let's go back to the monthly again. So it's kind of a funky 2nd wave, but this is kind of my count. I don't see this as a 1st wave of an overall 3rd wave. I think the 1st wave actually ended right here, and this is a bunch of corrective moves. This is overall, so a short C wave, and then we get this move right here, which actually probably ended up here. And I think that honestly, we're working on a fourth wave. And I think NVDA is actually in a B wave here, and I'll show you here in a second. Let me get rid of all these parallel lines. So I think that the third wave ended right here. You can see 5 waves on this. And then this right here is clear 5 waves, and that's what really is kind of the telltale sign right here. One, two, third wave down, and then we get a fourth wave and a fifth wave. So this is definitely a 5 wave move. And so what is this then? If we have a 5 wave move here, this has to be a B wave. So if you look at the 1929 crash, this is how they got everybody. They had a huge move higher, and everyone thought this was going to go. They thought it was going to be they thought it was going to correct, but they didn't think it was going to correct how it ended up correcting, which was this. It ended up doing this. So let's just look at where the fourth wave could end based on parallel lines. So 1, 2, I need to change this to the other 3. We've only retraced on that fourth wave to less than the 0.23 fib. So again, this can do this. Got to be very careful on this move, and I think that's actually somewhat likely. I don't know if it's going to go this far down, but there is a gap fill at 52 bucks. And I know this sounds crazy right now. It's at 432 bucks, but that's what I see in the chart. That is a 5-wave move. This is the reason that this is so hard to chart is because it's a B wave. It's just chopping the whole way up. Corrective move the whole way up. And everyone's, thinking it's going to go to 500, 700, whatever. And it could, but the farthest I see it going it pretty much already hit the target that I would say, 453, the 1.23 fib. So let's zoom in here now on lower time frames and just take a look. There's a lot of mess on this chart right now, but so even I was trying to turn this into a 5-wave move, and it never made sense to me because of all the chop. And I think that's the same with Apple too. So now let's just look at this move right here. Luckily, this might have a little bit higher to go, and that makes sense because QQQ is going to go higher. Because I see this as a B wave, and then this is some kind of corrective move right here. So this looks like it probably is going to go higher next week into earnings. Maybe it comes up here to like 468. But then I would actually, it really depends. It could end up being the third wave of the final move higher. And this is a short C wave, but overall, it could do a few different things. It could also do something like that. There's a lot of gap fills down here, and that makes a lot of sense based on what QQQ is probably going to do. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a move into earnings and then sell off down here to the bottom of wave A, which is at 375 to 394. And then that would be the final washout before the final move up on NVIDIA. So again, that's showing the same structure as Apple. Go back to Apple. Let's go to the monthly. Apple. We get ABC. Then we get this huge move higher with like no red bars. Very corrective move. What do you think is going to happen after this? It's probably going to come down and make a C wave. This video is a lot longer than I expected, but I'm getting really into this these long-term time frames on Apple and all the rest of the stock. Let's zoom out here on Apple as well. So Apple is so hard to chart though. Look at this. Less than $1 and you can see like all the waves from down there. But anyway, if that's an A wave and this is a B wave, then I would expect it to come back down here towards the bottom of this eventually and probably hit at least the 1.23 fib. Maybe like 113 all the way down to 95 bucks. So all these charts are setting up for the most part. Let's go to Microsoft. Same thing. Has AB. AB. 1, 2, 3, 4. So within this C wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So again, Microsoft, another B wave potentially where it goes past the A wave start, and then we get boom down here. That's probably going to come. And that sucks to say because a lot of people are going to be caught up in getting in these stocks at the very top. You got to be very defensive when we get up there. Google, to zoom out. By the way, Google looks pretty good on. So look, same thing on Google. A, B, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And look where Google's at right now. It's probably in a fourth wave. So these stocks might get like extended fifth waves as well. But that's probably going to be the C wave. Let me zoom out on this chart and just look at. And then Google is just making a lower high. So it'd probably come back down here as well. There's a gap fill at 64 bucks. So it doesn't have to happen like this, but this is kind of what I'm leaning towards just based on the charts I'm looking at. Amazon, let's go to the monthly. This was my original thesis like back in March, April, and then I got kind of caught up in the bullishness, and I was thinking, oh, maybe there is a chance it's going to go 5 waves and go to new highs. It's still possible, but I really do like the fact that this is probably going to be a B wave. So Amazon actually looks like it's a B wave, but kind of the opposite. So I think it actually, yeah, it's got to end right here. Maybe something like this, expanded flat B wave. And where this is actually the W wave, could be the end right here actually too. But this looks like a 5 wave move to me. Yeah, 5 wave move where we come up here to about 165. The gap fill maybe even higher than that. Targets would probably be, I would say 167 is a good target. Potentially 211, but probably not. I would say 167 would be a good target on Amazon. So basically in this video, let me go over SPY now. But you can see the theme of this video is just kind of pointing out that you got to be careful over the next couple of months because it could last, it could last into the spring, but I think it's going to all come tumbling down here in the next, like, probably 6 months or so. Maybe 8 months. This could be an extended fifth wave. We don't know. But again, SPY, if I zoom out here on this chart, it's the exact same thing. 1, 2. 3. I consider the COVID crash is wave 4 of overall wave 3. That was the C wave. So again, here's a smaller version of what I'm expecting on the larger version. We got another one of those moves, A, B, C. And you know it's a C wave because it crashed so quickly. How fast did this go from 312 all the way down to 210 basically? It was within like 2 weeks. So that's the third wave right there. And currently, if we're in a fourth wave, which I've been talking about for a while now, and on this chart right here, on the log chart, it might only hit halfway then. I would hope not, that this is like the first A wave of it. That would not be good, because this did take 9 years. We're only on 2 years of this. But anyway, you can see here, if this is ABC as well, get something like that. And here, zooming in on this, actually, on smaller time frames, we're in a fourth wave. So let's go in smaller. Let's go down to the hourly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Same area as QQQ. Probably a fourth wave bear flag right here, and then one more move down. I'm looking for like 430, and then a big bounce. So probably going to end up being like this: 430. And here's a clue. This cannot go down to 413. So we're probably going to bounce to, so 413. It cannot go past 418.85. We come down here to 430. Then we're looking at something that's probably going to go all the way back up to like 450, potentially even 455. And this is going to end up being something like that. And here's the line to get outside of. That's what I'm looking for right here. Because again, if we go to the 1.61 fib, it invalidates it because it comes back into, or actually it's right here now. What the hell? Okay, it's 415 actually. The log chart, I think I had it on a regular chart. So I guess we could come down right below that, but again, I would think it's probably going to be not all the way to the 1.61 fib. We're going to get a decent bounce, and then we're going to get a C wave down here to, who knows, maybe it'll be a regular flat. Could be that as well. So again, overall, just in an A wave. In the overall grand scheme of things, we're probably in an overall B wave of the fourth wave, and it could even be only the A wave of the fourth wave. So I know it's getting kind of confusing, but this could happen too. So this is a very long video. I know I threw a lot of information. I went into different time frames, but hopefully you enjoyed it. Basically, the theme of the video is just to be cautious. Even you can be bullish for the next 6 months probably, but I would say even till like October, we're probably going to be chopping and then down. It's probably going to be the theme, and then we're probably going to go higher like later in the year into the spring, and then I'm expecting a pretty big sell-off sometime in 2024 to complete this final move down on the C wave on most of these stocks, most likely. So that's it. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'm actually traveling this weekend. I am making a long trip. I'm actually going to Japan, and I'm going through LA. So it's going to be, hopefully I can get through there without any wind or rain. I'm flying out at 1 in the morning tomorrow, so hopefully I can get off before anything happens. I think I'll be fine, but we'll see. If I don't put out a video for a couple of days, it's probably because I got stuck in the LA airport. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a good weekend.